Hey my friend, welcome back to the Chinese class this week. So, remember last week we have learned the paper making and the origin of the paper, right? And we have learned a lot of things about the paper money, and the ancient people, how did they record their memories in different materials. So this week, Miss Shuling is going to introduce you more things about that. So let's start with the 4 great inventions in China. So all those 4, who are they? All those 4 great inventions in China. It is said they are the paper making, who appeared in more than 2,100 years ago. Invented by, you know who? Cai Lun. Yes, this man who has invented the paper making, and he was the inventor of the paper making in ancient China, and he was a famous person of the science and technology culture in China. And the second invention, the great invention of China, was the campus. So as you can see in the picture, the campus was made as the shape of the spoon. The point of the spoon was always pointing in the south, and it was appeared in more than 2,500 years ago. It was invented at that time, and after year by year, and people have developed the shapes and the design of the campus. But the campus was the earliest appeared, or we can say invented in China. And then it was the gunpowder. You know what is a gunpowder? It was a black powder. It was a black powder invented at the first time. The intention that people invent this powder was to do the fireworks in China, and then the European people came along and they took this technology and they made guns and made cannons, and then make a great effort in the wartime. Okay, the gunpowder. And the last, and also I consider it is the most important development and invention in ancient China, was the wood block printing. The wood block was like the stamp. Now you can use, as many of you have the stamps, right? Using wood, and you carve the wood as the different blocks, and you can carve the different images, butterfly, flower. Bisheng, it is generally assumed that Bisheng in the northern Song dynasty, he was born in 960 years, and he was died in 1127 years. So he was a man from 1,000 years ago, invented the movable clay printing, as you can see in the picture. So all of us knows that Chinese is a different system of the language, that different from the Latin language, that we use letters and then we combine the letters together. But in Chinese, we combine the different parts of the radicals and the different another part, but even though you do it, it will be separated. So each character have its own character and its own shape, we can say, and different strokes and different combinations. So how do we do that? At the beginning, you need to make the blocks in the same size as you can see in the picture, and then you carve the characters on the blocks, and then you can move the blocks according to the article that or the poem that you want to print. You move the blocks to the different place, and then you can use some ink. Put some ink on it, and then put the paper on it, and then you can print them and 1,000 times or more. But just continue using inks and papers. That was the original printing technology was born like this way in China. Okay, now I want to share this video with you to tell you the story of the 4 great inventions of China. Please enjoy.
Papermaking, gunpowder, printing, and the compass. These 4 inventions have been recognized as catalysts for great civilizations. The focus on these 4 discoveries and inventions as the most important were not made by the Chinese, but by foreign scholars. For example, in the 17th century, Francis Bacon wrote how printing, gunpowder, and the nautical compass had changed the world with literature, warfare, and navigation. In the 20th century, Dr. Joseph Needham popularized the idea of the 4 great inventions and mentioned that China had achieved many of the world's firsts. Paper. Before paper, Chinese characters were inscribed onto animal bones and cast onto bronze objects. Then from the Warring States period, 5th century BC, bamboo slips were used, which were heavy in quantity, and also silk, which was too expensive for most people. The innovation of paper came during the Han Dynasty, attributed to an imperial eunuch official named Kai Lun, dated to 105 AD. While there is evidence that paper likely existed before, it was his process of papermaking, using bark, hemp, rags, and fishnets that widely spread throughout China. Paper enabled the creation of lightweight books, and it was a better way of keeping records. It wouldn't exist in Europe until the 11th century, replacing animal skins. Printing. Printing techniques would come around 1040 AD during the Song Dynasty by artisan and inventor Bi Sheng. This is recorded in Dream Pool Essays by Chinese scholar official Shen Kuo. While woodblock printing had existed in China centuries before, Bi Sheng had invented the first movable type printing press. This was centuries before Johannes Gutenberg would invent a metal version in Europe. Chinese characters were put onto clay types and assembled to print a page. Now instead of writing books by hand, they could be printed rapidly. The compass. The first compass was invented during the Han Dynasty. It used lodestone, which was carved into a spoon shape, which automatically pointed to the south. It sat in a bronze plate and when moved around, aligned to the Earth's magnetic field. This compass was not used for navigation, but for harmonizing people's lives and environments. By the Song Dynasty, compasses consisting of a magnetized needle in a bowl of water were being used for navigation on ships. Gunpowder. Gunpowder was discovered by alchemists during the mid to late 9th century in their search for an elixir of immortality. But it's from the later Song Dynasty that we have the earliest written record. It was composed of charcoal, saltpeter, and sulfur. It was found that an explosion could be created from certain proportions of these chemicals. When the military learnt of this, they developed weapons such as the fire arrow, which were used against their enemies. These 4 inventions in science and technology are the famous 4, but many others contributed to the advancement of China.
Okay, after the video, I believe that you know more, a lot more, you have learned a lot more things about the 4 great inventions of China, okay? What are they? Let's see, if you can see. They are papermaking, compass, gunpowder, and woodblock printing, okay? Okay, after I introduce you the 4 ancient great invention in China, now let's change the topic. In the modern Chinese society, do we have the more developed product or lifestyle that different or even more developed or more fast faster, more efficient than the Western world? Yes, we do. The mobile payment is one of them. Now, as you can see in the picture, the WeChat Pay and Alipay was the mainly payment way in China. And the people, we only need to bring our mobile with us to outside. We don't need to even need the cash, need the wallet, need the credit card. We just need the mobile, because to scan a QR code is easier than anything. So right now, I would like to share you this video to let you learn more about nowadays how do people use their money, how do people live without the cash. Okay? Enjoy.
Why is Thomas from Germany celebrating with so much enthusiasm? Like many foreigners in China, he is enjoying the convenience of a life without cash. Over the past 5 years, China has embraced a life online. Some expats here in China, as well as Chinese themselves, have dubbed the phenomenon China's 4 new great internet renovation. Same as the 4 old inventions, it is their new technology that transforms people's lives. One of these 4, and the one that appears to be floating Thomas's boat, is mobile payment, in which China is now leading the world in scale, scope, convenience, and coverage. So pervasive is the trend that robbers would be hard-pressed to find any cash to steal from in a modern Chinese store. Consider a normal day for someone living in China. You wake up in the morning, go and buy breakfast on the street, and pay by scanning with your smartphone. In the subway station, you scan your smartphone to purchase your ticket. If, after getting off the train, you find there is not enough time to walk to the office, you scan the code for a shared bicycle, aka OFO bicycle, and ride to work in minutes. Time for lunch? You and your co-workers find a good restaurant nearby by using a smartphone-based app that allows for group purchases. After lunch, you go to the nearby supermarket to buy some bottled water, maybe a magazine from a kiosk too, all paid for with your smartphone. You can also go shopping online during your break. With a bit of luck, you will get it by the time you arrive home. When you are tired by the end of the day, you can simply use an app to order food delivery. The delivery cost is about $1, and the food will be at your door in just 30 minutes. The smartphone can handle payments for taxis, utilities, and even hospital bills. And savvy street performers will display a sign with a QR code so as not to miss out on any tips. This is a glimpse into the life of most Chinese, allowing you to bid farewell to the wallet and bank cards. Meanwhile, if you run out of battery charge, no worries. Just plug it in to a shared charging point. These developments are encouraged by the Chinese government under its Internet Plus strategy. Stimulated by an online economy, traditional Chinese businesses are also growing fast and creating more employment opportunities. While online commerce is booming, with retail sales already accounting for 1/3 of the national total, the employment in the internet industry has reached a staggering number of 16.772 million. The logistics industry has developed even faster, now accounting for 6.5% of China's employment, with 50.12 million employees. And the life of Chinese people has changed, since they are living life at their fingertips.
Of course, in China we do have the 4 ancient great invention, but we do have the 4 4 great internet invention in a modern society in China. So apart from the mobile payment, as you already learned in the video, we also have a sharing car service. So if you, as in Beijing, in Shanghai, we have a lot of big cities because, you know, in China, we are a lot of people who live in China. So to go out with a car, probably if you go with the car to go to work or finish work will be a tragedy because maybe you're gonna encounter a great traffic, as you can see in the picture. So nowadays people would like to go out with a sharing car, because if you just click on your mobile and your sharing car will be arrived in 5 minutes. So in the last video we'll show you how convenient we'll be using a sharing car in China, and it will be so convenient, and you can enjoy the service with a very cheap price, much cheaper than Uber in Spain. For example, if I go to Seville in the city center, maybe I only need to pay €5 instead of paying €15. So there's 3 times difference. So, okay, the last video will be attached in the link down below. Please check it. It is about a story. Well, it's not a story, it's an interview about 2 foreigners who live in China and enjoying the convenient service of their sharing cars in the big cities. So please check it out and answer the question that I put in the task. And if you want, you can record yourself a video telling us your opinion or your doubt, your curiosity. Anything will be very welcome. Enjoy the class. 再见。